Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to Chris Chat CFC. Another episode, another video where I give my views on all things Chelsea. We've got a lot to get through today actually. So we've got Cuckoo and Reece James promises. We've got Josh Achimpong, João Pedro, personal accolades. Who's going to be the referee for Chelsea versus Man City? Enzo on the future of being potential captain or not. What a fifth place spot means for Premier League teams for Champions League. We've got news on Elliot Anderson. Mudryk, a leaked new kit. Enzo's price from Chelsea for Real Madrid. Jules Koundé coming back up again. Barco and Gary O'Neill, his thoughts on that. Levi Colwill's future and some news about a potential new face in the club. Now, before we start, I just want to say I'm now on to 91 subscribers, which I think last week or beginning of this week I was on like maybe 23, so it's shot up. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed and watches these videos. It's getting better. I'm doing this just because I enjoy talking about my club, talking about football, and want to share my thoughts really. And I've said this before, but I probably couldn't have come into this at a more toxic time. I think if you have a look back at my videos, I've only had one positive video that I've spoken glowingly about Chelsea, and that was the Aston Villa game. Other than that, it's been Wrexham, PSG, Everton, Newcastle, you name it. News coming out, players talking. Yeah, it's just been a bit chaotic really. But as I say, there's a lot of news that I want to get through today and I want to catch up on and give my views on. So let's make a start, and I'm going to start with what the club have told Marc Cucurella and Reece James regarding what's going to be happening in the summer. So let's go over and take a look and see what's been said, shall we? So we got here from CFC Daily, we got breaking. Privately, the club have assured Cucurella and Reece James that signings with proven Premier League experience will arrive at centre-back, central midfield and in attacking areas. So my thought on that quickly is obviously Reece James, he has signed a new contract. So he has obviously had talks with the club about how we're going to move forward. I believe that Liam Rossini had a 30-minute chat the other day with Marc Cucurella, reassuring him about what he can do. He can speak to the club. He can go to him. He's still building that relationship, and obviously what the future looks like for Chelsea. Now, what puzzles me there on that is Enzo Fernandez wasn't mentioned in that. So why was Marc Cucurella and Reece James and not Enzo? Which is surprising. We have this every year, every summer, around near summertime, but they come out and they say, Chelsea are looking to spend big in the summer. Chelsea are going for these big proven targets, blah-de-blah-de-blah. And the same thing unfolds. Absolute chaotic links, chaotic signings, young signings. But yeah, that's what I took away from that Marc Cucurella and Reece James have been promised and Enzo hasn't been involved in that at all. With Liam Rossini in press conferences, he has said that the club and him are aligned with where they want to go in the summer window. And that is with potentially more experienced players. But you've got to be really careful who you go for. Really careful. I think they're going to use João Pedro as a benchmark for that. He is Premier League proven. He is experienced in the Premier League. He had a stint at Watford and Brighton. And he's come into Chelsea and he's hit a bit of form at the right time, and he has been a good player overall this season. They'll use that as a benchmark. I don't think that's always going to be right. I don't think they're always going to get that right. So be interesting to see who they go with. But talking about proven players and where they want to strengthen in the summer, there is a player that obviously I've spoken about in the last video that hasn't been getting any game time at all, and that I do expect to leave in the summer. And that is Josh Achimpong. So there has been a few things that have come out about Josh this morning. So let's quickly go through those, and I'd love to know your thoughts on it. So let's have a look. So here, courtesy of Chelsea Dodgers and Bobby Vincent, we've got a shortage of game time for Josh Achimpong means there are clubs sniffing around, but Chelsea are adamant he is not for sale and remains a huge part of the long-term vision. And then just to further on from that, despite Josh Achimpong's lack of minutes, Chelsea club sources say there are no plans for him to be sold in the summer transfer window. Okay, so the club have said they're not interested in selling him, but what is Josh's thoughts on this? Surely he wants game time. He sees players in and around his age getting more game time than him. I mean, I said the other day that he didn't get any game time against Port Vale because I actually didn't think he did, but it turns out he got 5 minutes. I mean, 5 minutes against Port Vale when you're 7-0 up, you should be getting more game time than that. And he's got to think about his future. Career in football is short at a professional level. I know he's only 19 or 20, but he has the potential to really hit the ground running now. He really does. I think with more game time at Chelsea or another club, I think that he can do that. The only issue that we've got with the club is that they've got so many young players that they look to try and alternate all the minutes, especially the ones they've got in for money. Josh didn't cost anything because he's a part of the academy. So maybe the pressure and the priority is other players, which shouldn't be the case really. It should be down on merit and how well you're playing and how well you're training. And I'm pretty sure that Josh is being a great professional in training and continuing to prove that he can play and he can start, and he should do. I mean, you look at our defence this season, we've been absolutely atrocious. There should have been more minutes for Josh there. I think that Josh coming in, you can never really put the blame on him for bad performances within the defence because he's young. But when he comes on, he goes for it. He makes these really good runs. He's great in defence. I really like him. I do really like him. I think he needs to get a little bit stronger. But I think he can definitely be one for the future. But will Josh Achimpong allow that to happen here at Chelsea? As I say, time is going by. He's had probably less minutes this season than he did last season under Maresca. So the club might not want to sell him, but he might want to go. So if he does want to go and get more minutes somewhere, they could come to a middle ground where they say, right, okay, well, we'll let you go out on loan then. Which I would be happy or not happy with depending on how this summer window goes. So if you're going to be getting in players around the same age as Josh and probably with not much of a higher ceiling than Josh and let Josh go out on loan, I wouldn't be happy. Because why would you go and spend that money on them players when you've got Josh sitting there? Sitting there, not shitting there. So yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. Let me know what you guys think about whether Josh will be sold or will he be loaned or will he get more game time. So yeah, let me know on that. Now going into a bit of news, just a quick bit of news about another player that is at Chelsea that has hit form around the turn of the year, and that is João Pedro, and this is the latest on him. So as you can see there, and it's no surprise really, João Pedro wins Chelsea's Player of the Month for March. He has seven matches, 4 goals and 1 assist, and that is obviously well deserved. You can see him there with a Player of the Match trophy, and I think that one on the right hand side is after his masterclass against Napoli. So yeah, João Pedro has been one of the standouts, I think, during this dismal time. He had a very good game against Napoli. He came on against Wrexham and helped us get it over the line there. He's popped up. Aston Villa, he was sensational. He got a hat-trick. So yeah, he definitely has been our standout player for that month. But I think if you look back, who else was going to take that from him? There was no one really that was that great and that consistent, and obviously scoring them goals and big goals as well, and helping us get wins. So yeah, well done to João Pedro. Now moving to, we've got Man City this weekend at Stamford Bridge on Sunday, and we always get news of the officials, and to me now, back in the day used to be like, oh, Mike Dean's officiating, this certain ones, but now it just seems like every ref, you just think, oh god. So here is the referee for the game versus Man City. So it's been confirmed that Chris Kavanagh will referee Chelsea versus Man City. Now what does that mean to me? Not a lot, because referees don't really referee the games anymore. It's VAR. The referees make a decision in real time on the pitch, and VAR overturns it. Or if a ref doesn't make a decision, then the ref will have a look and probably overturn it, or make them go to the monitor and say, you need to change that, because no referee these days really goes, yeah, I've seen what you're saying on the video, but I'm going with my on-field decision. So referees don't really matter in the game anymore. I think that they've lost control of refereeing a game. I don't think they feel confident taking the responsibility anymore. I think they're always cautious about what they're given and what they're not given. They're overthinking too much, especially tackles this day and age. I mean, Caicedo the last couple of games has done some fantastic tackles and been given a foul and booked. when you go and look at the monitor or you go and look at the replay, and it was a great time challenge and he gets the ball. And that's probably why you see Moises Caicedo now retracting a bit more from one of his strong points of the game, and that is his tackling. So I don't think it makes much difference at all. It's not really going to make much difference to the game. It's probably going to give us something to talk about after the game and what the referee did and didn't do. So yeah, that's that. But also talking about the game, we are going to be without a certain vice captain, currently captain at the moment, the one who's been yapping his gums on streams and on interviews about Maresca, the fallout from Maresca, and obviously him being linked with Real Madrid and that he would like to go there. So here's some news on Enzo Fernandez. So there is a recognition Fernandez is an alpha character, making it natural for him to deputise as captain when James is absent. Chelsea are open to Enzo Fernandez captaining the side again this season. Caicedo is expected to be captain against City. And there's just something a little bit further, which it says exactly the same thing. So, look, he's been banned or sanctioned, shall I say, for 2 games. So that was the Port Vale game, which he wasn't going to play anyway. And the game on the weekend against Manchester City. There has been some rumours coming out that apparently the players did go to Liam Reseda and asked if his ban could be lifted for the Man City game, because they need their full team to even go and try and compete with Man City. I mean, they can't do that. The club can't turn around and go back on that and say, yeah, all right, because it just shows complete weakness and a complete lack of control. So they've made their bed. The club needs to lie in it. And obviously we'll be without Enzo Fernandez on the weekend. Moises Caicedo obviously is going to be an obvious captain replacement. He's not really a captain on the pitch, I don't think, but he said that he's loyal to Chelsea, so of course they're going to reward him with that. Excuse me, and give him the captaincy whilst Reece James is away. It'll probably be that Reece James will go back into the captain role, and then Moises Caicedo will go as vice captain. But obviously, as when Reece James returns, we don't know. I don't know who the vice captain is going to be whilst Moises Caicedo will be captain. Maybe Cole Palmer, because he had his captain cameo against Port Vale, which helped us get a 7-0 win. So... So yeah, that's the information we're getting on the squad, what they've said to Liam Reseda about Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez, what's going to happen to him when he comes back into the squad. And talking about the squad and how they're going to finish the season, we are looking to make Champions League football. It does seem that it's going to be quite a hard challenge given the games that we've got ahead of us. But there has been a bit of news coming out about what 5th spot might mean for a Premier League team this season. So let's go and have a look at that. So we have here from CFC Daily, we've got confirmed 5th place will be UCL football next season. So we've got 3rd, 4th and 5th will be the Champions League. 6th place will be the Europa, and so same with the 7th place. 8th place will be Europa Conference League. I beg if we get 8th. I beg. Jesus. If Leeds or Southampton win the FA Cup, then it will end up going to 3rd, 4th and 5th Champions League, 6th in the Europa, 7th in the Conference League, and 8th with nothing. So if Aston Villa finish 5th and win the Europa League, then 6th will be in the Champions League. And let's just show some more here. So if Liverpool finish 5th and win the UCL, then 6th will be in the UCL. According to BBC, if both win European trophies and finish 5th and 6th, that would put 7th into the Champions League. So obviously we've been confirmed 5th spot is going to be a Champions League, but then also it also comes down to who's going to win the FA Cup, who's going to win in Europe. So obviously Aston Villa could change things. Southampton and Leeds, they could change things. So it's going to make a very interesting story for the end of the season. Where do you expect Chelsea to finish? With the games that we've got coming up, where do you expect Chelsea to finish realistically? And how many points do you see us getting from any of our remaining, 7 games? I'd love to know your thoughts on that. So I'm going to go on to a little bit of transfer news now, and it's actually not someone who was linked with Chelsea, but has now been linked with somewhere else that is probably a bigger pull and likely to happen. So let's take a look at that, shall we? So this is courtesy of Fabrizio Romano. So Manchester City will sign a new midfielder for sure and maintain Elliot Anderson among top targets for summer window. Nothing advanced yet, but Anderson is among top 2-3 names on Manchester City's list for new midfielder. Man United are also interested. Now, Elliot Anderson, he's at Nottingham Forest. He has been playing very well, but I don't think that he's appealing to a lot of Chelsea fans because he plays for Nottingham Forest. We've seen this type of move over the last couple of summers, and even under Roman, we saw that with Ross Barkley, Danny Drinkwater, them type of players. Elliot Anderson, along with Adam Walton, I think they're definitely players that do have a high ceiling. I don't know whether coming to Chelsea is going to help them reach that high ceiling because of who they've got in and around them and the current chaos and the players in and out, the unsettlement. I don't know whether that will allow them to do that. So just like Semenyo, we were linked with him. He went to Manchester City. Look how he's performing. He's got a bit more stability there. Same with Mark Gahey. So I think for Elliot Anderson, I think if he does want to think about his future career and where he's going to be, Manchester City's an obvious fit. I think he'd do very well there, actually. I think he'd be a great signing for them. And I think that the World Cup also is going to tell us a lot about where he is and what ceiling he can reach. I think if he gets some game time, which I think he will, because Thomas Tuchel is quite a big fan of him, I think that he will probably have some more suitors in the market, actually. I think at the moment it's probably Chelsea, Man City, and obviously Man United there, which we've just had mentioned. I think that there will be a lot more. I think Newcastle might be in the running for him as well. So, look, the list is endless, and I think that the World Cup is going to help elevate his potential options come in the summer. I don't see him staying at Nottingham Forest. I do think he will move on to a team that is probably playing in Europe and competing for titles. And I think he deserves it. I think he's a great player. Talking of players, we have got someone that you might have forgotten about. That is Mykhailo Mudryk, who's still on the books at Chelsea. He has not been seen for around 18 to 20 months. But there has been some news on Mudryk. So let's take a look. So, breaking. Mykhailo Mudryk has sued the Ukrainian Football Association and national team physiotherapist Igor Peribia over the stem cell injection that allegedly triggered his doping test failure. According to sources, the cow-derived stem cells administered by Peribia during a Ukraine national team camp are believed to be the source of a meldonium found in his system. Mudryk has always insisted he never intentionally used any banned substances. I think Mudryk knew. I do think he knew what he was being injected with. I think he was just hoping that maybe it would have gone under the radar. I don't think he's sorry about what he's done. I think he's sorry that he's been caught, and he's kind of saying it wasn't his fault. There's probably proof there to show that he could potentially get away with it. But I don't even know what this was used for. What was it used for? An injury? And if it was used for an injury, why don't we see other players use it? Why has it been used? If it's something that's not used regularly and can't be used, then why has the doctor used it? So I think that Mudryk has got a case there for potentially being drugged with the wrong thing, something that he shouldn't have been done. I think it was a shame because Mudryk, at the time when he did get his ban, I think he was doing very well in the Conference League. He was building confidence there, which then would have built confidence to get him into the first team and be a bit more of a first name on a team sheet type left winger. Because if you look, Sterling didn't work out. He's been booted off. We brought in Garnacho and Gittins. Now, if Mudryk was still here, would we have got Garnacho or Gittins? I'd like to think no. I'd like to think that we would have probably gone for somebody else and kept Mudryk. And I'd rather have had Mudryk now than Garnacho and Gittins. I think Garnacho can't take on a player at all, and he has been linked with a potential move away this summer. Atletico Madrid, I think, was one of them, and potentially going back to Argentina, because we can make money probably on him from his first season. So I don't see why we wouldn't cash in on that, especially as the club needs to get money. So that could be an option. But Mykhailo Mudryk, look, I did like him. I thought his first appearance for Chelsea at Liverpool away, that cameo for the last 20 minutes of that game. I mean, when you see that, you think, geez, no wonder we overpaid for him against Arsenal, because he looked electric and then he just fell off completely, which is a bit of a shame. But he did start to pick himself back up. He's got a mean left foot. He is stupidly fast. I think sometimes he was too fast for his own brain with the ball. But yeah, I definitely think he had a better output and a bigger ceiling than the two that we've got in there now. So that is Mykhailo Mudryk. I don't think we're going to see him. There has been rumours that he could still have a further 4-year ban, which, I mean, if that's the case and that does happen, then it's game over. It's game over for him probably having any form of professional contract. I don't know how old he is now. I haven't actually looked, but it's going to be very, very difficult for him to come back in to any club at a high level. And I do feel sorry for him. I do. I think that he had the potential to have a great career. Maybe not at Chelsea, but maybe moving on somewhere else, I think. So, yeah, that is Mudryk. And Mudryk, we will not see in a new kit for a while. And talking of new kits, we've got a leak of potential new Chelsea kit. So obviously around this time every year we do get potential leaks. I think the last couple that I have seen around this time of the year has been the ones that we've gone with. So let's take a look at these new leak kits, shall we? And here we go. Full Chelsea 26-27 league kit set according to Road 1 Kits. Now, as you can see in the middle, Cole Palmer's been AI'd with the new home kit. Esteval with the new away kit. I don't know whether that's a Omega or I don't know who that is actually. With the third kit. Now, my thoughts on the kit, I mean, I like the black and yellow. I love that. I hate the badge on the third kit and the home kit. Why? Because it is CFCLDN. The away kit, the white one, I love that because it's got an old vintage badge on there of the Chelsea. But a lot of people are saying that they don't like the new home kit, like the design of it. I actually do quite like it. I think if I just quickly show you again. So obviously you can see that we've got the CFCLDN here. We've got the lion crest here going around with Chelsea just going around the top there, just subtly in there. I mean, I don't mind it. It's just something a bit different, but I just wish that we had the old style logo, you know, like something like this. I love that they brought out sort of tops and training tops with stuff like this at the moment. I think it's really nice. But also having that there, what does that tell you? I'll tell you what that tells you. There's going to be no front of shirt sponsor. Because why on earth would you put that in the middle of the top and then plaster a sponsor over that? Just defeats the object, really. So, yeah, that is apparently the new league kits for next season. You do see other ones that are floating around at the moment. You're seeing the 04-05 away kit with a blue and black stripe going down the middle with the World Cup badge, Chelsea logo and Qatar Airways on it. I mean, that'd be pretty sick, to be fair. But I don't see that happening. I think that'd be too good to be true. Now, regarding these new kits, who are we going to see in these new kits next summer? Next season, even. And one player we are not too sure about, but maybe this could be about to change it. So let's take a look at this. So we're back to Enzo Fernandez, and Chelsea asking price for Enzo Fernandez is 100 million, a price Real Madrid are not ready to pay. So I think that Real Madrid are going to be holding off till the end of the season, and I'll tell you why. Because if Chelsea do not make European football, his value will go down. You're probably looking at around the 85 million mark, which if that is the case and Chelsea don't make Champions League football, that could be enough for Real Madrid to go in for an 85 million pound bid. Chelsea would probably accept that. And also Enzo would probably want to move because he's not getting Champions League football. His salary will be cut and he's got a potential move to a place that he apparently wants to go to. I don't know because he hasn't spoken too much about it. So yeah, that's one to definitely watch out for in the summer. And how we finish the season is going to depend on how much Enzo Fernandez's asking price is. So that'll be something to look out for towards the end of the season. Now, talking to players going out, players coming in, we've had a few. And this geezer's popped back up again. Which, I mean, I thought it was all right at the beginning, but when we first was linked with him, I think maybe 2-3 years ago, but he got pinched or he went somewhere last minute. But it's this guy. Let's take a look. Jules Koundé. So Chelsea are preparing an aggressive push to finally land long-time target Jules Koundé from Barcelona. Liverpool and Man City are also monitoring the French defender closely. Well, that screws us over then, doesn't it? Because if them two clubs are monitoring him closely, apparently, according to the owners, that we can't compete with these types of teams. So we're not going to be able to compete, and we're not going to rise above and say, oh, you know, Liverpool want to offer me 200 grand a week, and we're going to go, oh, okay, we'll offer you 220, 230. No, because they can't compete, because they won't compete. They have their budget, they have their salary cap, and that is it. And Jules Koundé, he was linked with us, I think, just after we won the Champions League, and then he decided to turn his head and he went to Barcelona. And I don't think he's been pulling up trees and doing very well with Barcelona, if I'm honest with you. So I'm not really too fussed about Jules Koundé even coming. I'm not interested in him at all. I think there are better players out there that are suited to us and that can do good with us. I don't know about his attitude. Maybe his face just screams to me when he's playing that he's just got a bad attitude, and that is something that we don't need in the squad. We've already got enough of that, especially with Wesley Fofana at the back. Could you imagine having them two at the back? Be red card galore every single game. So no, Jules Koundé, you can go somewhere else. You can go somewhere else in the Premier League, City, Liverpool, wherever you want to go, because I'm not interested. Now, talking about another player coming in, we've already had reports that he pretty much is coming. He has suggested Chelsea. Of course, he's going to say yes to Chelsea because he is with our sister club, Strasbourg, and they have control, the owners, over who comes and goes from Strasbourg to Chelsea, Chelsea to Strasbourg. So this is a bit more on Valentin Barco. Let's take a look. So we got here, Chelsea and Strasbourg are in talks over a fee for Valentin Barco. Gary O'Neill is not keen on losing the player, but Brighton holds significant sell-on clause. Jesus Christ, Brighton are making an absolute killing of us. They've all the money that they've got over the last couple of years has got to, I mean, if you see them rebuilding their stadium, I wouldn't be surprised, and that's all going to be Chelsea's money, I tell you. But just a bit of word there on Gary O'Neill not being too happy with Barco moving over to the other side of the umbrella, let's say. I don't know why he's that bothered, because in 8 months' time, in December, he's going to be linking back up with him again at CFCLDN anyway. So he's going to be next in line for the Chelsea job. So he'll probably just say to Barco, I'll see you in 8 months. But then apparently Barco is only coming to Chelsea if Rosenior is still in the job. Excuse me. So what happens if Liam Rosenior doesn't make Champions League football and the results towards the end of the season are still poor? What's that going to mean for Liam Rosenior then? What does that mean for Barco? I mean, Barco's not in control of this anyway. It's going to be Chelsea, the Clear Lake, Clown Lake. They're going to be in charge of this. So he'll come over whether Liam Rosenior is the manager or not. It doesn't really matter. So we'll have to wait and see how that unfolds towards the end of the season. There's a lot to still unfold towards the end of the season, and it's going to be quite interesting. It's going to be something to look forward to a little bit, about where we finish, who's going to be coming, who's going to be going, who we're going to be linked with. Is Enzo Fernandez going to be sold? Will it be for 100 million? Will it be for 80 million? Depending on whether we make Champions League football. It's going to be, it's going to be a lot of questions that need to be answered. And for me, it's great because I get to make videos on this and talk about it. Will it? Won't it? So back to Chelsea, back to our academy. We're not talking about Josh now. We're talking about somebody else who's come through the academy. We haven't seen him this season because he's been injured, but there has been some recent news on Levi Colwill. So let's take a look on that. So here we go, courtesy of Ben Jacobs. Chelsea are working on a contract extension for Levi Colwill. And as you can see, there's Levi Colwill with the England flag around him and with the Club World Cup, which was good times. Good times. So Levi Colwill, I think when the owners first came in, I think when he got into the first team with Thiago Silva, there was talks about him maybe leaving. Now I can't see Levi Colwill going anywhere at all. I think he's fully committed to Chelsea and the project. He has been sort of away from the pitch, so his emotions probably aren't going to be as high as all the other players on how they're feeling and how the club is going. He's obviously been concentrating on his rehabilitation and just getting back into the first team. And he is quite close. He's been training quite regularly, quite well, and we are probably expected to see him within the next 4 weeks, actually. So before the end of the season, which would be great, just to get him some minutes and just get him ready. I mean, he probably won't go to the World Cup, so, I mean, will you risk actually giving him any minutes? You probably will, just for a bit of match fitness, but that is something that remains to be seen. But Levi Colwill is a player that I would love to see stay. I think that he was absolutely fantastic last season. He was great next to Thiago Silva as well. I think he's been one of the main reasons why we have struggled at the back this season. I think we've missed him massively because we've been very inconsistent with our centre-backs. We've been swapping and changing. Levi Colwill will always be in there, and I think it'll probably be between Trevor Chalobah and Wesley Fofana swapping in and around, depending on the games that we've got. So I don't think we would have had that much change if Levi Colwill was here. And Enzo Maresca, alluded to that. The fact that Levi Colwill was out, he did need another defender. He needed someone like Levi that he could just keep in there and chop and change Chalobah and Fofana. So it'd be great to see Levi stay. So let's hope about that. So let me know what you think on Levi Colwill committing his future to Chelsea and what you think he's been told with the project. So one more thing to leave on, and that is a potential signing for Chelsea this summer. Someone a bit different to the youngsters we've been lined up with. So this is someone that has been cropping up a lot on Twitter at the moment, and it's this man right here. So, courtesy of Simon Phillips, Darwin Núñez has emerged as a surprise target for Chelsea. Núñez is prepared to take a significant reduction in his wages to facilitate a move. Yeah, no shit. Chelsea have carried out background work on Núñez and have been spoken to by his representatives. Now, Darwin Núñez, he's been over in Saudi for a season. Hasn't really been doing too well over there. I don't think he enjoys it over there. I think he regrets leaving Liverpool. Now, Darwin Núñez for Liverpool reminds me a little bit of a Nicholas Jackson for Chelsea. He, although saying that, he was around some great players. I mean, your Bobby Firminos, your Mo Salahs, Luis Diaz, them types of players. He was able to come in maybe when the pressure was off, when the game was done and dusted, and come in and sort of play the last 20 minutes and maybe grab a goal or be near, or he played cup games. There was times that he couldn't hit a barn door, but I mean, he's a good player. Does he fit the profile that we need at Chelsea? Absolutely not. I don't think so. A lot of people will be welcoming this. A lot of people think absolutely not. Stay in Saudi, go away. But he's going to have to take a massive wage cut if he is to come to Chelsea from Saudi. I mean, Saudi probably pay him like 500 grand a week. I mean, what are we going to pay him? Maybe 180 at a push? It depends whether he's thinking about the football or the money. And also, if he stayed there for only a year, does that mean he's got to pay tax on what he's earned? Or has he got to stay there for a bit longer to not pay tax? I don't know. That's interesting. But yeah, this video, we've had a lot to get through. We've gone through a lot of Chelsea news, a bit of updates about everything, really. I just want to say, if you're still here watching, thank you very, very much. If you could do me the massive honour of liking, subscribing and hitting the notification bell for when I drop another video. I probably will do one on Friday. And again, I think I'm on 91 subscribers. So I just want to say thank you very much to people who have subscribed. I appreciate it. I do this just because I enjoy talking about football. I'm enjoying talking with other content creators as well, talking about football and about Chelsea. And I hope that that journey continues and I get to learn more about this whole YouTube side of things and talking about football and hopefully better things to talk about with Chelsea, really. And I just want to leave on one thing. We do have a protest on the 18th of March at home to Man United. Strasbourg fans are going to be flying over from France and they're going to be joining us on a massive march against Blueco because we do want Blueco out. We're not happy with Blueco. We don't want them to change their model. We've had enough of them. There's too much conveyor belting and basically too much moving around, and the structure isn't safe at all. The financial side of it is diabolical. The sponsorship side of it is diabolical. The players in and out, in and out. They can't get any stability there at all. We can't get any stability when actually growing and leaning towards a player, because next thing you know, they're gone. So yeah, we're not happy with Blueco. We want them out, and come and join in with the protest on the 18th of April. If you're not too sure, just reach out and get some information on Twitter. Not a Project CFC. They've got all the information there. I'm going to be going. I might do a little video or a live for people to join in, because maybe some people might not be able to go because they live too far away. Some people might not be confident going into big crowds and being around big people, but you might still want to have your say. So I might give you that opportunity, and I'd love to be able to do that. So let me know whether you'd like that. Drop any comment below. Let me know if you want to respond to anything that I've mentioned today, and whether you want to speak about and agree with my views or disagree with my views, because that is what is important, talking about the club and where you see things from a different angle. So again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys soon.